Hello everyone, my name is Edshara, and today I am doing a tag video. Now I figured if I'm tired of filming just library hauls and wrap-ups, you guys are probably tired of seeing just library hauls and wrap-ups. So I have a few tags that I would like to do. The first of which is the reading habits tag. And I wasn't tagged by anyone, but I did see Lindsay from BFCG do this video or this tag on her channel, and Lindsay reads and reviews Christian fiction. So if you're interested in Christian fiction and you would like some recommendations, I would definitely check out Lindsay's channel. I'll leave a link to her video for this tag down in the description box. And the original creator's video for this tag is no longer here on YouTube, but I will try to find their name again just so I can put it in the description box and give credit to whom credit is due. Now, the first question in this tag is, do you have a certain place at home for reading? And yes, I do. I like to read in a very well-loved recliner. I usually like to curl up with my blanket and a book and my pillow. If I'm not reading in the recliner, then I like to read in my bed. And question 2 is bookmark or random piece of paper. I will use a random piece of paper if I have to, but I have started a bookmark collection, and so I would prefer to use those. And question 3, can you just stop reading, or do you have to stop after a chapter or a certain amount of pages? I prefer to stop at the beginning of a new chapter, or if possible at a line break. If I have to stop in the middle of the chapter, I can, but then I usually have to go back and reread several paragraphs before I can continue. So I try to avoid that if at all possible. And question 4 is, do you eat or drink while reading? I try not to. I try to either eat or drink before or after I read, and if I do partake in anything while I'm reading, it's usually just some water. And question 5 is multitasking, music or TV while reading. I used to listen to like soft music or like love songs while I was reading, you know, because I'm a big sap. But I found now that I really enjoy ASMR. I prefer ones that have to deal with like some sort of water element or fire. If it's water, I prefer like rain, perhaps with thunder, or, you know, the waves crashing onto the beach, or like a nice stream trickling in the background. If it's fire, I like, obviously, like a nice fireplace scene. You know, the sound of the crackling wood is very soothing. So I usually like to go for that when I'm reading. Question 6 is, one book at a time or several at once? Just a couple years ago, before I started BookTube, I would have said one book at a time. I couldn't handle anymore. But then I started watching BookTube, and I noticed a lot of people were reading multiple books at a time. And so I said, you know what, let me try this. And I'm glad I did, because it's nice to be reading more than one book at a time, because if I need to pause a book, it's always good to have something else to go back to. So I enjoy reading more than one at a time. Question 7 is reading at home or everywhere. I prefer to read at home just because it's less chance of me getting distracted, because if I get distracted, then I have to reread. If I have to reread, then it's going to take me longer to finish the book. I do have the option to read at work, but sometimes it takes a lot for me to focus and concentrate on the book, so I don't do it that often. I would just prefer to read at home. And question 8 is reading out loud or silently in your head. Silently in my head. I don't think I'd want to hear myself read an entire novel out loud. And question 9, do you read ahead or skip pages? I will read ahead, especially if it's an intense scene or a dramatic scene. I want to know how it ends before I actually read it, so I will find myself reading ahead. But I at the same time, I don't like to spoil myself, so I'll put something over and just kind of go down line by line sometimes. But for the most part, I'm reading ahead, y'all. And question 10 is breaking the spine or keeping it like new. I would prefer to keep it like new, which is why I think I like hardcover over paperback. Just because I think, you know, usually the spines are really nice, and once you break them, they get that crease in them, and that's just not cute. Especially since the spine is what you see when you look at the bookshelf. But I know that sometimes it's inevitable, so it's not like the end of the world if I break a spine, but I would rather keep it like new. And question 11 is, do you write in your books? If it is a fictional novel, no, I do not. I will just use the paper flags to kind of mark the things that I like or want to remember. Now, if it is a Christian living type of book, then I'll write in those books. I highlight in those books. If necessary, I want to remember something or be able to find something quickly, I will dog ear those pages. I'm sorry, I know. But for the most part, I only write in the Christian living books. And the last question, as I lose my voice, question 12, who do you tag? I'm going to tag Mary Ellen from Portraits of Me. I don't think you've done this tag, Mary Ellen. So feel free to do it if you would like, no pressure. And if you've already done it, well, you know, I tagged you anyway. And I'm also going to tag Jen, or as she is known on Instagram, Reader44ever. Jen, I know you do Instagram, so you can either answer the questions down in the comment section of this video or over on Instagram. And I will leave links to both Mary Ellen's channel and Jen's Instagram page in the description box as well. And that is it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this tag. I know I had fun doing it. And until next time, guys, God bless. Bye! Well, dog ear the page. Shh, don't tell anyone.